The title of the song is One Day at a Time. So enjoy it.
We are going to sing now the prayer of St. Francis for you in Spanish. We hope you enjoy it.
Señor. that song was new to you, it's a prayer of Francis of Assisi from the 12th century, asking that God make us instruments of peace. And now we have Marisol. I didn't introduce Marisol before, and she's going to teach us our last prelude song, and we'd like you to join and sing with us. This is called El Sol Nace para Todos.
Okay. I think we have it up in the PowerPoint, up in the monitor. Yes. And it just mainly talks about how the sun comes up for everybody and how we hope that there's always a new day for us of hope, of love, regardless of where we come from and regardless of what language we speak. We all see the sun come out every day and we hope for it, and we hope that there's love every day for everybody, and that our youth stands up and fights for what they believe and for others as well.
So we'll sing this refrain. It's a two-part refrain. We'll sing it once, these first 4 lines, and then we'll have you sing it back with us.
Okay.
And then we'll do the next 4 lines, and then we'll have you sing that back with us.
Okay.
All right. So it's just El Sol.
So it goes. El sol nace para todos. No distingue las fronteras ni las razas ni el color. El sol nace para todos y se entrega por amor. No distingue las fronteras ni las razas ni el color.
And then the next part is El sol nace para todos,
Como nace una nación, cuando la noche se eleva, para todos nace el sol.
Now everyone please.
El sol nace para todos, como nace una canción. Cuando la noche se eleva, para todos nace el sol.
And so we'll sing this all together, and I'll do the verses in Spanish. And it's up to the Spanish speakers to know what those words mean. So here we go.
Solo pido que no falte un poco del sol en mi ventana.
Mañana, mañana,
Solo quiero libertad que estalle de amor en las campanas.
mañana, mañana, la juventud levanta su bandera.
Y alza su voz en nombre de cualquiera.
Porque vivir es como un sol de oro. Y el sol nace para todos.
Esto nace para todos.
Everybody. El sol nace para todos y se entrega por amor. No distingue las fronteras ni las razas ni el color. El sol nace para todos, como nace una canción. Cuando la noche se aleja, para todos nace el sol. Yo quisiera que un puñado de humanidad todos tuvieran. Quisiera.
Y que nadie niegue a nadie un rayo de sol en primavera.
Quisiera, la juventud levanta su bandera.
Y alza su voz en nombre de cualquiera.
Porque vivir es como un sol de oro. Y el sol nace para todos.
Esto nace para todos.
El sol nace para todos.
Welcome all, welcome all. I'm Pastor Barb of Trinity United Methodist Church on behalf of all of the groups that are listed. And if we go through these really quickly, Sherry, you will see all of the 20 groups that are part of this. There is lots more people involved. Bienvenidos a todos. Todos esos grupos son parte del grupo que está aquí para buscar una acción en fe. If you have children, we have a nursery back there and you are invited to take your kids back there. Si tienen niños, hay cuidado de niños atrás. Si quieren llevarlos, están invitados a hacerlo. The bathrooms are the back and there's refreshments. I see people passing water, but if you should like a glass of water or something to drink, there's plenty back there. Please go participate in it. Okay, it's a warm night. Thank you for being here. It's a great crowd. We see everybody up here. Bienvenidos todos. Si quieren interpretación, tenemos una máquina y Wendy va a hacerlo. Tienen que pasar acá y buscar la maquinita para escucharla. Okay? If you're off. So, Mayra.
Good evening. My name is Mayra Moriel de Banuelos, and I work for the Catholic Diocese of Moines, and it's a pleasure to have you here. This is an imperative time to take action for what we believe is right and just for so many. We gather today here to support a humane immigration reform, regardless of the faith that we hold dear in our hearts. We know that faith is displayed by action, and it is specifically by our faith that we are called to act with justice, to love one another, to welcome the stranger, and to serve one another. It is an honor for me to introduce you, the leaders of the different faith communities that are here, representing their people and showing their support for a comprehensive immigration reform that will allow so many to live in peace, harmony, as we united family, registered with the system as they reach for the American dream. We have here with us Rabbi Stephen Edelman-Blank from the Tiferet Israel Synagogue. Bishop Alan Scarfe from the Episcopal Diocese of Iowa. Reverend Chris Racing from the Roman Catholic Diocese of Des Moines. Baljit Singh Virdi from Iowa State Trimble. Bishop Julius Trimble from Iowa Conference of the United Methodist Church. Welcome. We also have here immigrants that are coming here to share their own personal stories. They will share their journey with us. Their stories should encourage all of us not to give up, but to take action for what is just and right. And to visualize how their lives would have been much easier if they had benefited by an immigration reform like the one we are calling into action today. We have here Luci Cabezas and Esperanza Pintor Martinez. She's a dreamer. And we also have wonderful musicians that came today to bring us that message of hope, solidarity, and love. Welcome. We have the choir of San Anthony Catholic Church. We have Ben Allen from the First Christian Church, and we have Carl Leschenberg from Roman Catholic Diocese of Des Moines. Welcome. And we ask Rabbi Stephen Edelman from Tiferet Israel Synagogue to come.
can probably guess I'm the rabbi. My friends, Exodus 23:9 states, "Do not oppress a stranger, for you know the feelings of the stranger, having yourselves been strangers in the land of Egypt." I stand here tonight for two reasons. One reason is I'm a teacher of a faith tradition that believes that you welcome the stranger with open arms and not a closed fist. A religious tradition that says that respect for human dignity overrules the differences between us. A faith that tells us that the proper response to others is not fear, but love. The other reason I'm here is I'm a part of a people that's a group of immigrants. Both benefited and been targeted by American immigration policy, not this century, but the last. My parents were not on the Mayflower. My grandparents immigrated from Poland and Lithuania, and most of the Jewish people you know came from families that immigrated not all that long ago. They came for many reasons: to escape persecution, to seek a better life. And I say with a deep sense of gratitude that the opportunity that we were given, I fully believe, has helped us flourish and helped this nation flourish. How can we not wish for the same opportunity for others? How can we turn our backs? How can we turn away? Please join us in our call for humane immigration reform.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luci Cabezas, and I'm actually here on behalf of my mother, Norma Cabezas, back there. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about her story because she felt a little uncomfortable standing up here today. I was born in California, raised in here, Des Moines, Iowa. My parents, Saúl Guadamos and Norma Cabezas, were born and raised in El Salvador. My father came to this country in 1990, and my mother arrived the year of 1992. Both came illegally. My mom received her political asylum in 1994, and she married my father in 1995. My father was able to get his green card under the law of Nakata in the year of 1998. In 2000, my mother applied under the law of Nakata to obtain her green card. It is 2013. Till this day, my mother is still waiting for her case to be processed in order to obtain her legal status. This affects me and my 3 younger sisters and my father and my entire family very greatly. For example, we cannot take a trip to our home country, El Salvador, as a whole family. I've had to go by myself, just me and my father, without my mother by my side for that experience. And we all constantly live in fear of losing our mother. We all live constantly in fear of one day seeing her being deported. But our faith in God assures us that there will be justice for my mom and every other person waiting for their legal status. If we work together, I know that every single one of our dreams can come true. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Esperanza, Pintor Martinez, and I was also asked to share a little bit about my story with you. So I'll just try to make it brief and get to the point. I was born in Michoacan, Mexico in 1985. And I came to the U.S., I was brought to the U.S. by my parents when I was 8 years old. I had no choice in that. I was brought because my parents wanted me to have more opportunities to come to a country full of things that were not available back home. They were wanting us to have that beautiful American dream that we all look for. I grew up here in Des Moines. I went to Dowling Catholic High School. And prior to that, I hadn't paid much attention to immigration or what was going on in the political arena. But when I was graduating from high school, I was told that I didn't have a green card. I only had a work permit. That didn't mean anything to me because I had no idea what that meant. But it meant that if I wanted to go to college and pursue my educational career, that I would need to pay international student rate. I was furious and upset. But God places angels in our lives, and I had a lot of angels in my life who didn't let me give up. They listened to me, and they were a shoulder I could cry on because I was so upset. One of those people was Warren, a mentor of mine who passed away, and Max Cardenas, and they introduced me to Barry Griswold, who was then the CEO of Principal Financial. And Barry and his family paid for me to go to the first year of college to Central College in Pella. And after that, my father had already started our immigration process. So a few months after that happened, we got called for a green card. But we waited, very much similar to what you heard Luci say. We waited 12 years to get our green card. That was 12 years that my mom didn't go back and see her parents. That was 12 years that it was just phone calls and pictures and mail. I was able to go to college, thank God, transferred to the University of Northern Iowa. I finished my bachelor's degree in 2008. I went on to graduate school to the University of Iowa and finished a master's in public health degree. And currently I stand in front of you today. I'm the clinic administrator, clinic manager of La Clínica de la Esperanza, a clinic that serves a huge portion of the Latino community. And a lot of the immigration struggles are very evident into the medical field. So my message to you today, which all of you are here and I'm preaching to the choir, but for the media and for those of you out there that are not here, my message is simple. I'm not an illegal person. My parents are not illegal. They're human beings just like all of us in this room, just like all of you out there that are not here today. They're not criminals. They brought me here for a better future. And I sit in front of you today and stand in front of you, paying taxes, contributing citizen to this community and to this country. So I think we all deserve a chance and an opportunity to show that we have something to give back to this country. This country, even for those people that were born here, go back to your history and look. You came from somewhere. You were born here, but your ancestors and your family origin goes back somewhere. So, like the message in the back of your pamphlet says, we really want to honor Iowa's tradition of welcoming Iowans and newcomers. We want a clear path to citizenship, and we are wanting to keep families together. So my heart goes out to those dreamers that are in that situation now. I was there, and I still am a dreamer in my heart because even though I became a citizen in 2009, I share your pain, and don't give up. That's the biggest thing, don't give up, because someone somewhere out there is listening. Even those senators that are against some of these bills and some of what we're trying to do. Like I said, we're human. Why don't we focus on the things that we are alike and let go of some of the things where we're different? So thank you for allowing me to be here today, and I hope that all of you pass this message along onto your family and friends, and that you get them out there to vote and call and do what they can, because if we can each get 2 more people to help us call or email or mail, that's going to make a huge impact. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. My name is Scarfe. I'm the Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Iowa, and I live here because of this. I'm still a resident alien, have been for 28 years, or perhaps even more, I can't remember anymore. It's so old now that nobody recognizes it around the rest of the world. I have trouble every time I try and get through an airport because they don't know what this is anymore, because the computer software that the Homeland Security sends around somehow doesn't do this. And last month, the DOT finally said, you better change this because, we don't even recognize it anymore. So things have to change, things have to move on, and I've not become a citizen. I've been asked, I want to become one, but I wanted my own children to be able to go back and become citizens of the United Kingdom, if so they wished. And so I've done it in reverse in some ways, and now the last one has just done that, has chosen to do that, and is a double citizen. But I didn't trust the system here enough to be able to become a citizen, actually, and then allow them not to have that option. Which is absolutely to your point. Because I don't know about you, but I kind of didn't have much to do with my birth. What I have tried over time is kind of become conscious of being on Earth. And yeah, I was told I was British, and that on the maps of the world, all the pink bits were mine. That's the British Empire. But we lived in a place where many others of different parts of the world came and lived among us, and they were British citizens because they were members of the British Empire. And so people from India, Pakistan, East Africa, all over the Caribbean, all over the world kind of have come. I don't think my society actually knows what to do with that gift that they offered, because that's who we are now and we're having to work it through. But I don't see why when we come from one place, we somehow have to give that up because we've come to another place. And the things that we honor and love and really cherish in one place, once we come to another place, we have to give that up because somehow we have to believe that what we are now is better than what anything else that's around. This competition among nations is really what's the thing that I think most of all we need to think about as we go down the road. I know that that's beyond our steps, it's beyond our political agenda, it's something so beyond everything, but we have to have a vision that I think is bigger than just the places that we live and the places that we come from, that actually comes from the very heart of what our faith is about. I wonder if you remember that time when we moved into this third millennium, when we moved into the year 2000. I remember the gift of the celebration that began out in the TV cameras out there in the quiet places of the South Sea Islands. And then over time they went through the night. They took us through Sydney, the Sydney Harbour, and then across into Moscow, and then we ended up in London and Paris, and eventually we arrived on these shores. And then every kind of celebration that happened here in the United States of America was kind of like a review of everything else that we had just seen. Because it is true, the whole world does come here. And we have set that up for people to come here. We are to be in this place, welcoming the stranger, upholding the dignity of every human being for the inalienable right of life, the pursuit of liberty and the pursuit of happiness. These are the things that ring out. And yet what difficult time we have being a society that can live into those ideals. The point is we can't do it if we always want to own everyone and everything that we come in contact with. Our global communion of the Episcopal Church within the Anglican Church reminds us in reality of God's global perspective. We already saw that in the song that we just sang. Our faith story, like the faith story of our Jewish descendants, comes from that migration. God's first call to Abraham was to get up and go. And so the right to move The right to move for work, the right to move to provide life for one's children, the right to move just to be in a nicer spot, the right to move to just enjoy what is over on the other side of the hill. The right to move is right there in the heart of God's first call, in God's revelation in our Judeo-Christian tradition. God said to Moses, move. And over the centuries we have moved. Christians moved, surrounded, till they came to that place surrounded in the person of Jesus, whom we claim was God's own migration from heaven to earth. And doing unto others as God does unto us is what we call that golden rule. Because the foundation of all is the foundation of all our sense of immigrant rights, and must continue to shape our contribution for that limitation which I call a humane national immigration policy. Even a national immigration policy is a limitation on what it is to be a human being, as has already been said. So we stand here tonight knowing that a bill has been passed, that some progress has been made, a bill that is far better than what we have had in the current system. But we know that there's much more to be done. We have to look for the strengthening that comes from that greater protection that can come from migrant children, workers' children, and asylum seekers, and refugees, and the stateless. We have to keep up our efforts for more opportunity for guest workers and for greatest protection for those that come here, especially through the exploitation of those that have come through abuse and through trafficking. We have to look for the continual strengthening of that hope of the DREAM Act. We have to look for those pathways to citizenship to ever become clearer and ever become shorter, for a broadening of that opportunity for families to come together, both reunified and reunified, including, and we must say that this week, including those families that are same-sex partners and spouses, for every family deserves to live in its unity. Every bill process in this, as we know, includes compromise, and the one that has been passed today has its compromises. And we know that it passes on to another process, another stage. We have to pray that there be courage and humaneness to be found within the House representatives as they uphold the work that is presented to them. And if it does anything, this process has done anything for any of us, it has to teach us that we're not anywhere near the end. That over these next few weeks and few months, it is your voice. It is your voice to the people who represent you. It is your eye for detail about all the amendments. Over 300 amendments have been passed just for that Senate bill. 300 amendments were proposed. And we know that there are already, before that bill has come before people, we know that already other bills and other amendments are already being worked on in the House, especially ones that perhaps have got things in them that nobody wants to see, no good meaning person wants to see happen. But they'll be pushed through in the early stages when nobody is watching. I lived in East Europe for a number of years. And we used to know that the people in East Europe would get the secret police, and the system there would work by the basis of what it could get away with. What mean things could we do to human beings without anybody watching? And we in the West were really clear about the fact that we wanted to watch out for everything they were doing in the East. Well, I went to the wall, the fence, on the Mexico-Arizona border. I walked with people carrying white crosses with names of people who were no longer among us, but now we claimed were presented because we were carrying their names. And these are people who had died trying to get around the wall, around the fence, across the areas the fence was not. And I looked at that fence, And I saw the names of people on there. I thought, where have I seen this before? And I've seen it, of course, coming out of East Europe into Western Europe. Communism built a fence to keep people in. Capitalism builds a fence to keep people out. So given the limits even of national system of ordering ourselves and our protecting of ourselves through immigration, let us at least do this. We know we have taken a step forward in our march towards a just and compassionate immigration system, a step that allows millions of our immigrant brothers and sisters to emerge from the shadows and to join us in this pursuit. But in the ultimate pursuit of all of us needs to be one world and one people, with equal access to economic prosperity for everyone, for personal freedom of choices and expression for all of us, for the opportunity to know the ongoing, the unceasing, the exuberant joy of existence. That's what we're hoping for. That's what all of us desire. That's what this world requires. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Father Chris Rising, and I'm here to represent Bishop Pates and the Diocese of Des Moines. And so we are gathered here to speak about putting our faith into action as it relates to immigration reform. And in the Catholic Church, morality is rooted in God's self-revelation. Through this revelation, we know that each person is made in the image and likeness of God and has inestimable dignity. And it is in light of this dignity that the Church upholds three basic social teachings on immigration. First, people have the right to migrate, to sustain their lives and the lives of their families. The second, a country has the right to regulate its borders and to control immigration. And the third, a country must regulate its borders with justice and mercy. In applying these principles, we seek laws that respect the dignity of immigrants. We ask that laws be made which respect the rights of peoples to migrate, that give an opportunity to people to enter into the immigration process in a reasonable time for those who plan to come to this great country, and that give legal status and a path to citizenship for those who are already here with us. Immigrants need a way to enter into and remain in this country without fear of being undocumented. They need a means to be here legally and a path to citizenship. We seek the reunification of families who have been separated. We cannot claim to respect the dignity of the immigrant, while at the same time destroying the immigrant's family through separation. We seek laws that will respect the dignity of the immigrant, give those who are here means to be legally present, and have a path to citizenship, while at the same time reuniting those families which have been separated through deportation.
So I think when you came in today, you got a half sheet here, maybe. All right, waiting for God. Yeah, you're probably already waiting. So the first and third verses are in Spanish, and the second and fourth verses are in English. This is a Beethoven tune that might be familiar to a lot of people, and this text is based on Beethoven's original text that he actually used with the symphony. So it sings about brotherhood, singing together, being together in harmony. So please sing as much as you're comfortable.
And I will point out to you that in the Spanish version, they sing a half note on the first syllable, so it's not necessarily ba, 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 ba. Escuchar. And they're going to do that on ven canta, sueña cantando. Vive soñando. Yeah. Okay. So stretch out the first note of each phrase.
Good evening. My name is Baljit Singh. I am here to represent the Sikh community and talk about the immigration reform. Actually, the reform entails possible proposals to increase legal immigrants while decreasing the illegal immigrants. And this is also true that if country does not control illegal immigrants, the issue will continue to cause the problem in the near future. New families should be welcome to come to US, but through a legal process. If you like to look at this issue through a more religious aspect, specifically from the point of view of Sikhism, Sikh faith is considered to be a practical religion. It stresses more about the equality. Sikhs believe in living a normal family life, means get married, have their kids. Even our holy scripture, Shri Guru Granth Sahib, this also says that each and every human being should have good family life. Once you have a good, happy family life, you can be a good religious person, you can be a good priest, you can be a good spiritual teacher, because you can concentrate on that. Even our 10 great masters, they got married, they lived a family life, and set an example to everyone that you can meet God while living a family life. Even though Sikhs believe in living a normal family life, there are families or individuals in US, they are not legal residents. I have heard cases in our community also. Parents are illegal immigrants, but their kids are legal because they are citizens. One parent is a legal immigrant, but his or her spouse is a legal immigrant. Kids are legal immigrants. So I have seen these scenarios. There could be other scenarios also, similar kind. And many, if not most of them, have been paying the taxes from last 5 years or 10 years. Most of the scenarios are, but I have noticed, they were legal residents, but then they become illegal immigrants because they filed the cases and sometimes they lost the case or due to any reason. But earlier they were legal residents, but later on they became illegal immigrants. If I will give you an example, in my church, our priest, he was here for last 12 years. He was legal resident. He filed the taxes every year. Last year he became illegal immigrant. So I have seen the pains of this. The immigration reform should take care of these kind of cases in a more positive attitude manner, so that those families can live happy married life along with their spouse and kids. I hope the government will act on this issue with positive thought process to have every family as a happy family, to have every family as a happy family, to have every family as a happy family. Thank you.
Good evening. It's good to be in the house of the Lord. It's good to see such a great turnout. I often get invited to speak because I'm the United Methodist Bishop of the Iowa Annual Conference. But the seeds of justice and equality in my spirit go far beyond that and are far earlier. Like my friend Rabbi Stephen, my foreparents did not come over on the Mayflower. In fact, my great-great-grandparents did not come to America on a cruise ship, but on a slave ship. So the seeds of justice and full equality are deep in my spirit and in my history. I do not like bumper stickers, car bumper stickers. And I'm sure if I went outside today and looked around the cars that are parked, I'd see some bumper stickers. I don't criticize people who put bumper stickers on their cars because they have a reason for doing that. I still see people who still have their Obama stickers from the first election on their cars, and Peace Now and so forth and so on. We were in Virginia this year, and I decided to reconsider my opposition to bumper stickers on cars. I'm almost at the point that I will put one on my car. This is what the bumper sticker said. This is a true story. I haven't bought one yet, but I'm thinking about it. The bumper sticker said, "Humankind, be both." What a wonderful world this would be if we would choose to be both human and kind. I have more questions than I have answers, even as a bishop, Bishop Scarfe. I have more prayers than I have prescriptions, and more hope than I have hesitation. I've been a part of the fight for comprehensive immigration reform since I was elected a bishop in the United Methodist Church in 2008. The United Methodist Church, in concert with many other faith communities, has consistently been in favor of legislation that provides for, listen to me friends, a pathway to citizenship for all undocumented immigrants that has minimal obstacles and doesn't take 12 years. We are in favor of comprehensive immigration reform and legislation that stands for the reunification of families separated by long waits and deportation protection of the rights of immigrants. Immigrants are our families. They are in our churches and places of worship. They are in our communities and workplaces. This may not be a good sentence for any English teachers here, but they are us and we are them. Let me share some excerpts. If this paper flies off the podium here, somebody grab it quick, because without it I'll speak a lot longer than I'm intending to speak. Let me share some excerpts from some letters to the editor of the New York Times. One is by a friend of mine, United Methodist woman Carol Barton, and others, 2 persons that I don't know, Ann Pillsbury and Damian Morden Snipper. Both Democrats and Republicans are focused on immigration enforcement, arguing about degrees. Just as migration from Mexico spiked in the wake of the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, in 1994, which enabled the dumping of subsidized American corn and the loss of livelihoods for millions of Mexican farmers, the Central American Free Trade Agreement of 2004 is a key factor in increased migration from Central America. It is unfortunate that in this current debate over immigration that so little time is spent, and I know it happens in this place and many places where you are. It is unfortunate that in this current debate over immigration, so little time is spent understanding why people cross. Why are people here? Why are people forced to leave their homes? It is seldom just to better themselves. In the case of the young Central Americans, it is often to avoid being killed. The current wave of young immigrants is the fruit of past United States government support of repressive military regimes in Central America. Most, including, we made little progress today, Bishop Scarfe, I would agree, but most of the congressional action on immigration in the last decades has been to throw more money and more agents at the border. The United States already spends $18 billion a year on immigration enforcement, which is now to increase, more than every other federal law enforcement agency combined, and nearly 15 times greater than when the 1986 Immigration Reform and Control Act was passed. Simply increasing border security will not stop people from trying to come here so long as they have family members or employers who want them to come. Reworking the means for legal immigration represents a better solution to the broken immigration system than ever more walls, border patrol agents, and equipment at the border. Now is the time. Now is the time for us to be in intercessory prayer and to do it together as diverse faith communities, and to do it together, united in our efforts to work for just, humane immigration reform. We must also faithfully continue to take direct action with our congressional leaders and speak out as people of multiple faith traditions every day, every week, to say that we stand for just and humane immigration reform and will not settle for anything less than what we stand for. That we stand against border enforcement and more efforts to further create barriers for citizenship for our immigrant brothers and sisters. If you show me a picture of a better world, it does not include more 20-foot fences and 30-foot walls. It includes more bridges and more relationships and more partnerships and fewer walls and fences. Today, as faith leaders, we urge you to write letters, emails, yes, we still need to do that, and to make phone calls to our congressional senators and House members from Iowa and ask them to accurately represent our voices as people of faith that welcome the gifts, diversity, and presence of immigrants in Iowa and the positive way they shape the fabric of our communities. This past May, I was in San Diego, California, and we traveled to the border of California and Tijuana, Mexico. There I saw firsthand, Bishop Scarfe, as you did, a big fence, a brown wall and a white fence that separated the United States and Mexico. And we worshiped at Friendship Park, the People's Church, where people gather on both sides of the fence to share the sacrament of communion. And you no longer can share communion through the fence because they created a new fence where it's too close. So the people on the Mexico side had to share the communion there, and those of us who were on the U.S. side shared communion on our side. And we saw a gentleman there who was well into his 70s and who was showing his papers and weeping out loud because he had been working here in the United States and had earned retirement benefits from a company here, but had been caught up in a deportation sweep and was taken to Tijuana, Mexico, and could now receive all of the retirement benefits he had worked for the many, many years he had been here in the United States. I want to say to you that as long as I have breath, I am going to promote bridges and relationships and families being unified and be opposed to walls and fences that divide us. We have made a little step, but we have a far way to go. And if you keep praying for me, I will consider a bumper sticker. Humankind, let's be bold. Thank you.
We cannot let apathy win this battle. We cannot let indifference be the tendency in our faith communities. That has been the cause of many lost causes in today's secular and modern culture. Let us unite and take action. Let our voices be heard. Let our public officers know that we want an immigration reform because we need it, because it is necessary to keep our families united, because it's the American thing to do. What we do now is crucial for the immigration reform bill. Let's send messages to our representatives. They are there to serve us. Let them know that we have a voice and that our voice is powerful. They are there for us. They are not there to defend their values or points of view. They are there to defend our values and to represent us in the Congress. In your program, you will see the contact information of your representatives. Right now is the time to call our senators and thank them. We don't know if they vote in favor or not, but we have to encourage them to work with the Congress and to encourage them to vote in favor of immigration reform. And it is time to contact Representative Latin and let him know that we expect his vote in favor. The Network for Immigration Reform will have many more events in which we need to participate. We are going to pass right now some cards, and we appreciate your generosity. Any contributions you can make today will be used to cover logistic expenses like sound system, youth activities, promotion, printing, many, many things. So we appreciate your generosity and support, and we encourage you to participate in all the events that we are having. In your program, you can see that we will have a rally, another march, on July 27th from 2 to 4 at the west side of Iowa State Capitol. Your participation is crucial. And there is also, the Dream is now film presented by Organized for Action, and that is July 9 at 7 o'clock at Plymouth Congregational Church. We hope to see you there. And to conclude our program today, we want to thank all the speakers for coming and spending this evening with us. We want to thank you for coming. We want to thank the musicians. And especially we want to thank the Faith and Action Planning Committee for putting this program together. And we are going to conclude this program with a beautiful song that is Justice is Moving, led by Ben Allaway.
So you don't have, you're going to sing with me on this, but you don't have any words in front of you. You're just going to echo what I sing. I don't know how, I guess it could be a beautiful song. It'd be beautiful if you get really rowdy on it, okay? All right? Say, justice is moving.
Justice is moving.
Justice is growing.
Justice is growing.
Justice is all of our love lights showing. Justice is all of our love lights showing, etc. So you'll get it from there. Gracias. Not beautiful. There we go. Justice is moving.
Justice is moving.
Justice is growing.
Justice is growing.
Justice is all of our love light showing. Justice is all of our love light showing. Justice is praying.
Justice is praying.
Justice is believing.
Justice is believing.
Justice is all God's children singing. Justice is all God's children singing. Freedom is moving.
Freedom is moving.
Freedom is growing.
Freedom is growing.
Honor is all of our love light showing. Honor is all of our love light showing. Love is praying.
Love is praying.
Caring is believing.
Caring is believing.
Bravery is all God's children singing. Bravery is all God's children singing. Justice.
Justice.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Honor.
Honor.
Bravery.
Bravery.
Justicia.
Justicia.
Libertad.
Libertad.
Honor.
Honor.
Valencia.
Valencia.
Justice is all God's children singing. Justice is all God's children singing. Justice is moving.
Justice is moving.
Justice is growing.
Justice is
Come on now. Justice is all of our love light showing. Justice is all of our love light showing. Justice is praying.
Justice is praying.
Justice is believing.
Justice is believing.
Justice is all God's children singing. 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 Freedom.
Freedom.
Honor.
Honor.
Justice.
Justice.
Is moving. It's moving. Justicia.
Justicia.
Libertad.
Libertad.
Honor. Valencia.
Valencia.
Justice.
Justice.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Is moving.
Is moving.
Is moving. Let's get out there.